Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Year of the Dead. Now this time we are reviewing this Blockbuster exclusive copy of
I actually just started cracking up when I looked at it. It said Blockbuster exclusive. I'm like, I know there was Blu-ray around at that time, but like,
it's weird.
That's an old Blu-ray.
And to think that this is the movie they picked for their exclusive. Anyways, so this was probably our third time ever watching it, but first time in a long time. And honestly,
it might have been close to a decade.
Possibly,
if not a decade.
Oh yeah, because I just had my 10-year reunion.
Yeah.
And we definitely didn't watch this senior year of
we watched it at most. I don't even know if I finished the second time ever watching it. When we did, honestly, I might not have even finished it a second time. So
wouldn't blame you.
I watched it the first time. It was one of the first Romero movies we saw. Was actually this one.
Yeah, because you bought like a double pack of Night of the Living Dead and Diary.
It must have been. That must have been right around the time Diary came out that they had so they're like, hey, we'll just throw this in there with Diary. So that's probably where that edition came from. So it's one of the earliest zombie movies we ever watched.
Yeah.
Even like to begin with, I wasn't like super impressed with it. I remember, and obviously if we've not watched it, like Night of the Living Dead I've watched so many times. You know, Dawn of the Dead.
Survival we've seen less than this.
Survival
was definitely only one time, but honestly, I think I enjoyed this movie less than I did before.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see someone liking it.
I'm biased.
I don't think it's good.
I'm biased. It's not that I don't like found footage. It's something about the cameras and actually this one didn't have a lot of that.
It wasn't too shaky.
It wasn't like a
shaky found footage.
Like just a handheld camera. They had one that they were like on their shoulder, so it's not like the shakiness where they're running and it's just doing this and it just kind of annoys the crap.
They weren't really running that often.
No, but because it shows because the zombies just kept catching them.
Yeah, because what happens was the zombies would catch them and then the guy would just stationary film everything that's happening while their friends are either getting eaten or
fighting for their lives.
Yeah, fighting for their lives.
Which is
and then they'll like start just sauntering out to the next location.
I was looking at like the time period this came out. It's 2007. So it was the same year as Paranormal Activity.
But it was before
Cloverfield, which was 2008. And so it was right at that time where like found footage got a resurgence.
This is at the forefront.
And I don't know when Rec and Quarantine and all that
would have been around the same time.
Well, at least the Recs were.
It was definitely kind of pioneering for its time, but what I was complaining a lot during this movie is they don't fully commit to the gimmick. No. So most found footage, it's like the realism is what is the whole gimmick for it. With this one, there's times like first off, there's narration going on, which takes you right out of it. And then with that narration, she's explaining how we're going to intersperse some different news footage in here
that I compiled and I'm going to put in here. Cop out.
Yeah, there's editing going on.
Cop out.
There's scene transitions.
There's like fading away. And I was just like, it doesn't for a found footage. And I get the whole gimmick is I'm compiling this, I'm editing it, and I'm putting it out there.
I don't know. It just feels like he wanted to make a found footage movie without actually.
I kept saying when we were watching
music in it too.
It was
which
like found footage
right.
light.
Yeah.
It's like it's found footage, but at one point they find another camera, 2 cameras, and it's just kind of like that's kind of a cop out as well.
Yeah, and honestly, it's. And there was also they do flashbacks and then like trippy like video effects.
Yeah, it's just like they're doing something and it's just like ooh.
It's just not. It's not found footage.
And I don't mean this in a negative way to Romero.
Yeah, nothing against Romero, but I don't think this was a good movie.
Because he's a man.
Well, really, because obviously the budget wasn't there, so he made the best movie he could. But
and trust me, we've made movies like that, so like we get that.
But going off Land of the Dead, which is like the most bombastic movie he made, and then he followed it up with this movie where almost everything is off screen that's happening, and what you see really is just like a middle of the road character drama.
Also, the beginning of a lot of CGI.
Yeah, and like again, there isn't a ton of CGI just because there isn't a ton of kills in this movie. There's not a lot of people
off-screen.
dying.
There's a lot.
When they do it, yeah, it is typically
like there's some pretty
CGI,
cool kills. Like there's this Amish man named Samuel that can't talk, who's just
He's only in the movie like 5 minutes.
It might even be less than 5. But, you know, like, he can't talk. A bunch of zombies show up in the middle of nowhere somehow. And he just comes out of a barn with, like, dynamite. Blows them up. Pretty sweet. Then he has a scythe. And he's just, you know, killing zombies. And then the zombies behind him biting him. He just takes a scythe, puts it right through his head into the zombie head.
Zero hesitation.
The most metal thing I've ever seen in a zombie movie. Like, Samuel's a real gangster. I'll say that.
The best 5 minutes of the movie. Samuel the Amish man. And then, since we're already talking about kills, the other kill I would probably put up there, since I wouldn't pick the one you picked, would be there's a time where this one zombie, like, they didn't want to shoot because there was, like, barrels of gasoline around or something flammable, so he like, smashed this jar of acid on a zombie's head, and you slowly start to see it, like...
That was a good one.
Yeah, like, that, we had to use CGI for that, and honestly kind of worked, but just watching his head slowly start to just...
I don't know, I'm sure Salvini could have... He was doing
possibly.
Something. He's like associated with the movie, but I don't know if he.
I don't know if he did the effects.
He was like a background.
Because
they might have.
There weren't really effects in the movie.
So I'm thinking he might have been at some point in the background as a zombie, or you know, he should have.
He could have produced it too. I'm not positive.
But those might be the only two actual good kills.
Yeah.
A lot of these movies, it's like we got our favorite kills, and then there's like others that we can't be like, oh, they're still good. Like they hang. At the very end, they show a video of them like hanging a girl zombie from her hair from a tree, and a shotgun blows the head off from like the nose down. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, but it's like it isn't as gnarly as some of those like head explosion stuff and body explosion from Land of the Dead. Even in Land of the Dead used CGI, but it just felt cooler.
Yeah, and this was
just low budget, and he made the best movie he could. But honestly, this is by far the weakest so far in the series out of the 5 movies.
Like in the next one, like Survival, I've only seen it once. I wasn't a huge fan, I don't think. So it's gonna be. I have no idea. Me watching it now, being older, if it's gonna be like, yeah, that was actually better than it should be, or if it's like, oh gosh, that was even worse.
Yeah, because Diary was.
I don't want to say which one's the worst as of right now, but.
So Wiz, just to go over the plot, and it's very basic what happened in this movie. It's these people who
it's like that the white girl that gets pumpkin spice lattes. It's very basic.
Yeah. So it's these people from the University of Pittsburgh, and Pennsylvania. That's where like all this took place. Like the Dawn of the Dead was filmed in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they love that area.
That's where Romero's from.
Yeah.
So anyways, they're from that university, and they're filming a movie.
I wonder if you went to the University of Pittsburgh.
I don't know. But they're filming a movie, and it's just like some cheap horror film. And then like, oh, there's like zombies attacking, but they find out through the news. They don't like stumble across it.
Which I think that's how they should have did it.
Yeah. And then looking up the news. But no, they're just like, oh, by the way, there's zombies killing people on the news.
And they're like, Carnegie Mellon University. I was like, oh, that would have been cool.
So then they're like, let's go to the dorm and get our friend. They show up at the dorm, and there's no zombies there, and they're fine. They find their friend. Yeah.
It's just a dude looting.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say before we continue, this movie, at least at the beginning, felt like, post-screen, very meta, in how it was kind of self-aware.
Especially that movie that they were filming.
Yeah.
But... yeah, from there they get in their RV that they use for filming, and the main guy's like, "Hey, I'm just gonna film everything." Yeah, it would help getting people everywhere. But yeah, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna start filming everything," and everyone's like pissed off at him. And then at the same time, yeah, like as the movie went on, I was like, "Yeah, why is this guy still filming?"
It's like I get it. I want to record this for posterity, and then it's just kind of like, dude, you're just standing there like. Watching your friend almost like fight for his life, and you're just like, this is for posterity. People are gonna watch this in the future.
One of their people also tries to kill herself, but she kind of botches it, so they take her to a hospital. And while they're at this hospital, there's a point in time where a guy's filming, and a zombie walks from behind past the guy filming to get to the guy in front of him to bite him. And I don't get it. It doesn't make sense, and I feel like
the zombie's like doing the Romero thing where he's holding something, and he's holding a IV stand as he's walking.
Yeah.
With the IV stand's making noise, so I don't know how he snuck up.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It was a good Emmy.
Squeaking everywhere.
So yeah, from there it's just them trying to find the main girl's home. And you find out that her family is dead.
Which was just almost like anticlimactic. It was just kind of like, oh, it's her mom. Arrow to the head. Let's get going. It wasn't like a whole like drawn out like
Yeah, and then
they're all dead.
they go to their one friend's like rich mansion house, but then even there it's just like a couple zombies. Like one their friend turns and there's another zombie there.
Oh,
and it's just that's it.
I'm gonna get started about the freaking friend that's in the mansion. He's the guy that plays this like mummy.
In the horror movie.
The horror movie at the very beginning. He's a mummy, and
he leaves immediately before they even get in New York.
I forgot all about him, and then all of a sudden they find him at the mansion, and he's still wearing the mummy outfit. It's been days.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And I'm just like, why are you wearing that? Because they shot it on the same day. I would bet money.
Yeah, they only wanted one costume per character. Yeah, it's just anticlimactic. Honestly, they just kind of locked themselves in a panic room, and that's it. That's how the movie ends. And they're like, we're going to put this movie together for that main character that everyone hated. A lot of characters survive, too. I think 4 by the end, or at least one person kind of leaves without us knowing her fate. But, like...
It wasn't like... And I get it. It's not
an ending.
It was definitely a... they didn't want to use too many people.
Yeah.
There was never that, like, oh, there's a horde. Like, we're going to get overwhelmed. It always was like, there's 2 zombies. We're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Which
Samuel
I get.
was the dynamite when you need
I get it. Like, at the beginning, a lot of this stuff, it's like, okay, you don't know how to deal with it. But, like, at this point, like, there's 2 zombies. Just walk around them.
Yeah.
Get like, something long and just... Like, the one's walking at the guy, and they're like, we can't shoot, there's gas. And I'm like, Spartan kick him right now. The zombie will fall over. And then you guys can do what you need to do.
Or just run the other way. Like, he was in a long, like, it was like a long hall. We could have just ran the other way. He wasn't cornered by zombies. There was one zombie slowly walking towards him, but the guy had to film it. So, honestly, I feel like it
I had a lot more qualms with this movie than I thought I would.
Yeah, I know. I thought I would like it more.
I thought I'd be like, I don't like the found footage, but it was decent.
Yeah, no, if you take the found footage away, it's still a very low rent movie, and it's unfortunate, especially after how bombastic
without the found
Land of the Dead
footage,
was.
I don't think it would. I think it would have been a worse movie. I think the found footage salvaged more.
One character I did like was the professor that's kind of like supervising your student film. He's like kind of a drunk, but like he just says the coolest lines. He survives till the end, and he's just always there, just kicking butt. Like there isn't many good
decently
characters.
Competent.
Yeah. Yeah, there isn't many good characters. The drama isn't written well. It just comes down to, I need to film this. And I think, no, you shouldn't film it, but we're still going to film it anyways.
Why we have so many more gripes, it's because it was such a low budget. There wasn't a lot going on, and there wasn't a lot of different characters or cool zombies or anything. There was just so minimalist that you got to a point where you're just kind of like, I'm just bashing this movie at this point. And
I feel
it's
bad.
It's not like a horrible movie. I would definitely watch it again.
We've seen worse zombie movies.
We've seen a ton of worse zombies.
I think I would say this is probably a bad zombie movie. It's not like my bottom 10.
Like
I've
if you think this is bad, like
invent stuff.
Like it goes so much deeper.
Yeah.
Like maybe someday we'll get to some of those.
But for Romero,
yes,
it's pretty bad.
It's bad.
It might end up being his worst film. We'll see what happens with Survival. But honestly, I don't have anything else to say about Diary.
And compare it to like the Return of the Living Deads and stuff. I mean, some of those I would have to watch some of them near the end again. But like the first few, it's like definitely worse than those.
Yes, a lot. So we'll next month we're gonna finish out Romero's movie with Survival of the Dead. We'll see if it ends up being better than Diary. I thought it was worse than Diary all these years, but I might be wrong.
We'd have to watch.
I think something actually happens in that movie.
And it's my thing. If it's like small scale kind of like this was without the found footage, I think the found footage helped this more than if it wasn't.
Covers up some of it.
Yeah, because if you did this stuff without being found footage, people would be like, why didn't you show that? I get it when it's found footage. I don't get it when it's like this.
But maybe it does have more. We'll watch it and we'll let you know.
The fact that we only watched it one time and we used to really be into like zombie movies, that might be telling. So
we'll see.
I don't know if young us knew something when we watched it. We're like,
we weren't good judges of movies back then.
No, I watched some really crappy movies. We used to like
Master of Disguise.
Yeah, I was going to say, we used to love Master of Disguise. I don't know why we're bringing that up right now, but it's like we watch it now. You're like, oh my gosh, how did my mom?
Embarrassed.
My mom would like watch it with us, and I felt so bad for her after that.
So anyways, we'll see you guys next month.
Send more paramedics.